Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest podcast from the Three Men the Football Team. This is called The Great Football Debate. And on each episode, we'll talk about the things that get us passionate about football. Greatest player, greatest manager, greatest team, all the things that we argue about all the time over a pint in the pub, we'll bring to this podcast. I'm joined today by our resident coach and apparent creator of the 5 fundamentals of football, which I'm sure he'll share with us at some point, Darren, and self-proclaimed football genius, Thomas. How we doing, lads?
Hi, boys. How are we? Thomas, Simon, good to see you all.
All right, boys. How we doing? Darren, stop pinching my bit. All right, boys. You just say Simon Thomas. How are we? That's how we go about it.
Don't forget,
guys. Cut. Simon Thomas. How are we?
All right, boys. That's how we do it.
Love it. So, how are we feeling on this Saturday morning?
I'm cold.
Well, I've been for a run, so I feel quite good.
Excellent.
I'm freezing. Just put my hoodie on. Come down. Got out of bed early to do this.
Got out of bed early to do this.
Yeah. Didn't do his hair, does he? Hasn't got up and got himself ready.
Literally just...
I don't know, but there's nothing but a wax can't sort out later on.
You can't put wax on your face, Darren.
Oh, that's harsh. That is harsh. That's a great way to start the podcast. So
that is a great way to start the podcast.
So this is a special one. So this week, the football community lost a footballing legend, Diego Maradona. I don't know about you lot, but had a massive impact on my love for football over the years and hate for Diego Maradona with the hand of God. But sad to lose him. Lived his life to the fullest, it appeared. Had an absolute laugh. I watched a thing last night, Guy Lineker, with Diego, went to visit Diego Maradona. And some of the stuff that he was getting up to was hilarious. He is absolutely mad. He was watching Boca Juniors and he was the maddest fan in the stadium.
I also watched something Paul Gascoigne was saying about Diego Maradona, that when Gaza was asked to go and play in a friendly against Maradona's team, and he refused Gaza, but he said, okay, the chairman of the club he was at, I think it might be in Lazio, someone said, we'll give you £120,000 to go and play. And he went, okay, you're not playing the Saturday, we're saving you for the Tuesday. So Gaza went, okay, so went out to Euro Disney for 3 days, came back, played Tuesday, said to Maradona in the tunnel or something, they were on opposite sides, said, go easy today, I'm pissed. And Maradona just leant on and went, so am I. They both went out, both scored goals apparently. Like Gaza took 2 players on, scored a goal, and then said to Diego, beat that. Diego got the ball, got a free kick or something, put in the top corner, hit the stanchion, whatever, and just went back to Gaza and said, beat that. It's just like...
What a player. Any memories, Tom, of how good he was? I know you keep telling us you're a bit younger than us, but surely you were around when Maradona was here.
I've seen, obviously I've seen the goal in the 86 World Cup, which was out of this world, where he left Peter Reid for dead, and Peter Reid like running in sand behind them. But I remember him more from the 94 World Cup, where he was stacked. He looked like he was weight trained. Obviously he was high as a kite, and he got kicked out for the drugs. But I remember seeing him there and thinking, you look nasty. I wouldn't want to play against him. Not only he's got all the skill and the ability in the world, but he looked really mean. And I thought, is that something that you need to have a trait like that to be the best or one of the best to have played the game? Because I tell you what, he looked a nasty person. Like
he did. It's that iconic thing where he runs up to the camera and he looks off his head, doesn't he?
Yeah, crazy.
Not long after that, but I mean, you think about his career was unbelievable. But one of the things that's been talked about a lot this week was, how good was he? There's loads of people been coming out saying, by far the best player I've ever seen. But I think this is a debate that people have all the time. And that comparison with the modern day best players in the world, I think is an interesting one. So what we've decided to do is have a debate on the benefit, the great skills and the ability and impact of Maradona, Ronaldo, Cristiano, and Messi. And the reason we're doing these 3 is because we all think that one is better than the other. So I think Ronaldo is best out of the 3. Thomas thinks Messi.
Just on that side, I think you're wrong. But go
carry
on.
Of course. Thomas thinks Messi is the best out of three, and it wasn't even a debate with Thomas. It was an immediate yes, he's the best. And Darren, as usual, being contrary, wants Maradona to be the best out of the three. And apparently he's got a good argument. I don't know how that works, but we'll see.
Hang on. Did you just say being a canary?
Contrary?
I'm
a favour, Dad, just send him a dictionary.
I thought you said being a canary. I thought, I've never heard anyone called Darren a canary before.
I'll get that, the toilet paper with the word of the week on.
Yeah, word of the week, yeah. Send it over. So we're gonna debate who is the best out of the three, and what we'll do is start by giving a quick summary of why you think they're the best out of the three, and then we'll go down the route of probably arguing about it, and then deciding that I'm right.
Well, you say that, Si. I can't see an argument at all happening because we all know that Maradona was the best. You know, it proofs in the pudding.
How are you quantifying that, Daz? Come on.
Because I've said it. Move on.
That's usually my line.
So you look at Maradona. So he played in an era where he was kicked off the pitch. He played in an era where the football pitches weren't great. And by the way, tackles would come in hip high on Maradona, and he would still go past players. He had a wand of a left foot. You know, he's just been recently named of like one of the two joint winners of the FIFA Player of the 20th Century. You know, by his fellow peers, and to be able to do that, the other one was Pelé. Maradona and Pelé, that's always been the great debate. I don't know where you got these other two clowns from, but I just think if you watch back in the 86 World Cup, where he was probably at his best in terms of he played 2 years at Barcelona. It was an injury 2 years at Barcelona. He scored his scoring rate was something like a goal every 2 games, or something ridiculous for an injury season. Then he went to Napoli. And what he did at Napoli was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It was, to put it into a modern context, he'd almost taken a team that were unfashionable and single-handedly just got them to win, not just one, but 2, I think, leagues, plus runner-up 2 or 3 times. And he was just adored. 75,000 people were there when he signed for Napoli. That's amazing. That's 74,000 more than what Everton get. In this current climate, will you let me finish the sentence, please? and you look at it as balance. You look at the way he went past players, and these are world-class players. Baresi came out and said, and Franco Baresi is probably one of the best defenders the world's ever seen. Him and Maldini have come out and said Maradona was the most difficult player they played against. And for those guys, I think as Zidane's come out and said at 14 years of age when he watched the World Cup, Maradona was playing in, it inspired him to want to be a footballer. You know, and those world-class, we call them world-class players now, Maradona was on another level.
But he was outstanding, and he was great on the ball, and what he could do with the ball was unbelievable. I remember watching the warm-up that he did. In fact, it's been on the TV a lot this week. The warm-up that he does before the game. Firstly, he's obviously a bit touched. He's mad. But also, the ability to be able to do what he was doing with the ball was unbelievable. But all those same players that you just mentioned, Daz, have all come out and talked about how they couldn't live with the modern-day players. And when you look at modern-day players and the way they play the game, Ronaldo is just the perfect footballer. He's strong. He's got ability. He's got pace. He can go past people. You say Maradona's got a wonderful left foot. Ronaldo's hitting him with both feet because that's the way modern footballers are. So then the question is always, how would the Diego Maradona, who was unbelievable, live with the modern day footballers? And you talked about his goal scoring record. Look at someone like Ronaldo's goal scoring record at places like Real Madrid. His goal scoring record was 450 goals in 438 games. That is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how you compete with that. Now, it's a different game. I agree that there is a difference, and there was a lot more. Defenders got away with a lot more. Midfielders got away with a lot more in that era. But you can't deny that it would be really difficult for someone like a Maradona, who was outstanding at that stage, to live with a Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, I'll just jump in there and counter Darren's claim. Darren, he's a flawed genius. Flawed genius.
That toilet paper's working, Simon. Flawed.
He is more infamous than famous. For one, he couldn't do it now because they get drug tested, so he'd be knackered. So he wouldn't be any good. He wouldn't be playing at all. He'd be great on a Sunday playing for the Brit because that's what he'd have to do because they don't get tested. He couldn't play modern day football. Physically, you're right. He did take tackles. He was really strong. My guy, Messi, is the ultimate souped up version of Maradona. He's not an egotistical lunatic with his own Netflix film, standing there taking pictures of his body and getting bronze statues made of himself. He's just a normal guy.
Simon doesn't do that. I'm not having that.
He's just a normal guy from a poor background who was just blessed with the ability, the technique, and more importantly, the desire to just go on and dominate world football.
Who's never
It's not
played...
even close, to be honest. It's not even close in my eyes. The little Argentinian genius, Messi, is number one player in the world.
Who's played at Barcelona with great players in a poor league.
And also never done it on the international stage.
Never done it on the international stage. So basically, Thomas, this has now become a two men in a football. So jog on.
Again.
So,
that was most weeks.
But go on.
Go on. I was just going to say that international thing is an interesting one. And also the argument about doing it in different countries is a good one because I win that one. Because Maradona did it in two countries.
Yeah.
In Europe. Obviously, he did it in Brazil as well, but
Argentina, Boca Juniors, wasn't it? Yeah,
he dominated in Europe in two countries, whereas Ronaldo's done it in three.
Okay, so
Ronaldo's won championships and cups in three countries, while at the same time being one of the best international footballers in the world as well.
Okay, so could both players there? You look at what Maradona did at Napoli. Arguably, those two players couldn't do that.
I think there's a good argument there because I think he not only did it at Napoli, he basically won the World Cup for Argentina.
So, and he was in 4 World Cups.
Yeah, he did, but I do think towards the end he shouldn't have been there. But he
turned up. He got a flight. He got a plane ticket.
Yeah, he was on the flight. He
was on the flight.
He won that World Cup for them, and he did turn Napoli around. What he did with Napoli was he carried the team and he turned an average team into an excellent team because he will win games for you. And I do think that the argument is there, but I still think when you look at, if you put them side by side in the ability, I do think it's really close between Messi and Maradona because they're very similar in the way they play the game. If you watch them play and you watch what they do with the ball, I think the difference between Messi and Maradona is pace because Messi has got a bit more pace than Maradona.
Maradona moves.
And goals, yeah. he moves slow. Maradona moves slowly, but could do things with the ball that were unbelievable. Messi does all that same stuff at pace. But I do think the argument between Messi and Ronaldo is a good one as well. And Maradona's a good one because he's never done it at an international level. Why is that?
But I also think, just on that, is that we play in an era now, and probably the last 10 years, where both Messi and Ronaldo have been at the top of the profession, where defenders can't go near them. Defenders can't tackle them because they're frightened of giving out free kicks and penalties and all those things now. So it is a completely different game. Maradona was doing it when he had Uruguayan defenders kicking him left, right and centre. You know, he'd go on, he'd beat one player and then someone else just come up and just put a boot in him. I mean,
there's also mates with Pablo Escobar.
Which helps. Yeah. But there was a Real Madrid game, I think it was. No, I tell a lie. There was another game Barcelona were playing. And the way he went from Barcelona is because they were playing a team, Seville, I think it might be, and there was a big fight. And Maradona, apparently, which I found quite funny, I quite like the edge he's got, is someone was kicking him all game. He'd come back from a bad ankle injury. They tried to do him again. And he squared up to this guy. They had a bit of a Maradona headbutted him. This other guy come over, he elbowed him, cut him clean out, punched this other guy. And you just think it was a time when you had to defend yourself because these defenders, midfield players would just cut you down. You know, we talk about the 60 stars, the George Best stars. Defenders would just go down the back of your legs. They'd go in and they wouldn't think nothing of trying to break your leg.
Yeah, there's no way they'd get away with that these days.
No.
But I've seen that fight a couple of times this week as well. It's hilarious. It's just, it all just goes off on the pitch.
Massively. And the Barcelona president at the time said, we need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And then that's when he went, I think there was other reasons, but that's why he went to Napoli. Napoli, who were a poor team, unfashionable. There was a massive north-south divide at the time in the country. And I think what he did, not just for the team, for the culture. If you remember watching all those the games that he played for Napoli, it was just phenomenal. He brought a city. He brought a
it was
country.
like a carnival every time he played, wasn't it?
Definitely. And you don't get that. I just think with Messi, he's not done it enough for me for another team or his World Cup history.
Didn't need to, Darren. Darren, we're not talking about bringing Razmitsas and how many fans have you got, and let's have a fun fair outside the ground when you play. And, you know, we'll have people throwing sticks with fire on and all that. Oh, Diego Maradona's playing. No, we're talking about winning here. We're talking about winning games. We're talking about winning titles. We're talking about showing your skill on the pitch and doing it, not just for one season, but we're talking 15 seasons now, maybe more, of being up there as the best player on the planet.
In a poor league.
Just look at his trophies. He's won the World Player of the Year 6 times. He's won FIFA World Player of the Year. He's won 10 league titles, 4 Champions Leagues. So he's playing against the top teams right around the world.
No, those won 5 Champions Leagues.
I think he beat Ronaldo in a couple of games, didn't he, in the Champions League final? 6 Copa del Reys, 8 Spanish Super Cups. He's won an Olympic gold medal. He's won the Olympics, you know. How good is that? He won the Olympics. He doesn't even run. You know, he wasn't even on the track.
It's a tournament for amateurs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. He played against me and Simon.
The best player in the world. Over 800 goals, 640 goals, 800 appearances for Barcelona. The second biggest team in the world.
So yeah, I've got some stats on both Messi and Ronaldo, which are interesting. So Ronaldo, 1,026 appearances, 748 goals, 226 assists. Messi, 884 appearances, 711 goals, and 300 assists. They're all over the place, these stats as well. You go to different websites and they all look a little bit different. But I think some of the things that you're saying there, Tom, I do think reflect the modern day game as well. You know, things like what they're winning and that kind of stuff. We've got teams that are dominating, and these have both been in teams that have dominated. So you think about Ronaldo's teams. He's played for Man United, Real Madrid, and now he's playing for Juventus. Although I think he's made Juventus a lot better. But same kind of thing with him. He's won 5 European championships. European Cups. He's won 1 European Championships with Portugal, who, by the way, other than him, are a really average side. He's won the English Premier League 3 times. He's won the League Cup a couple of times, the FA Cup, the Spanish Cup a couple of times, Spanish Super Cup a couple of times, championships in Italy, the UK, England, and Spain as well. He's also won the Ballon d'Or 5 times. He's been top goal scorer 17 times in different tournaments. He's won Portugal's Player of the Year 10 times, but I mean, you would kind of expect that. But he's been unbelievable. But the biggest thing for me with him is his scoring record. And if you're playing in a Real Madrid team, by the way, during that period, Real Madrid were up and down. They weren't great all the time. They weren't winning the league every year. And scoring 450 goals in 438 games, that's an unbelievable record. All-time top scorer for Real Madrid, thinking about some of the forwards that they've had there as well. He scored 34 hat-tricks, and he's got the best goal-to-game ratio in La Liga. And he was the quickest player to 50, 100, 150, and 200 goals.
That's lovely, that side. Thanks for that. So if we just move on.
His goals-to-game ratio is still behind Messi's.
It is because Messi's had less appearances because he's only little and he struggles. He's got little legs. Yeah. Can't play all the time.
Well, in fact, Ronaldo started 2 seasons before him. So
how many guys, just while we're talking about individual awards, how many World Cup golden balls have they both won?
Yeah, not that many.
So
golden balls?
Yeah, he's been the best player in the World Cups. How many, Thomas?
I think Messi's won it once.
No, he hasn't won the World Cup.
He hasn't won it. Not the World Cup. No, he didn't. He's making these stats up.
When?
He won it. He's definitely won it. World Player of the Year.
No. He hasn't listened to the question.
He has won it. He has won it. He got best player Golden Ball at the World Cup. Definitely.
Which one?
Yeah, but they didn't win it, did they?
He didn't win it, but he got the Golden Ball best player.
We'll have to adjudicate on that.
Right, so is it? Sorry about that, Darren. He may have won it as well. But
here's another classic. Here's another classic. Ronaldo has scored in every minute of the 90 minutes. Maradona's not done that. Messi's not done that.
So he can run. Great. So
I'm not going to lie. Ronaldo plays for himself. The other two, they played for the team. Maradona, to be fair to Darren, I'll give him a little bit of credit, dragged the poor team and made them great. Messi, at times, has dragged the poor Barca side and still made them win. Ronaldo plays for himself. He's got no interest about what's happening around him as long as he's doing okay. Is not right.
I'm just going to read you this quote because by Andrew Murray, who was topping he was worked for 442 magazine, and Maradona topped the 100 greatest footballers ever list in July 2017. He said, and I quote, "Pelé scored more goals. Lionel Messi has won more trophies. Both have lived more stable lives than the overweight former cocaine addict who tops the list, whose relationship with football became increasingly strained the longer his career continued. If you'd seen Diego Maradona with a football at his feet, you'll understand."
Yeah, so I go along with the majority of that, but I also think, right, so he is definitely a flawed genius in that he struggled through with his non-football life, and actually maybe he didn't, maybe he just loved his life and lived it to the fullest, and actually getting into the drugs wasn't really a massive issue as far as he was concerned. He loved it. But you look at the modern game now and you look at the pressures of the modern game. So I agree that on the park, the pressures of the game in Diego Maradona's era was much more difficult. But I think the pressures of today's game outside and off the park are much more difficult for players. And you think what Messi and Ronaldo have had to deal with over their careers and how they haven't gone off the rails. But they haven't become the flawed genius. They, as Thomas said, they've done it for 10, 15 seasons, dominating.
Yeah, but you not think, though, it's like, when you get these players who come along once in a lifetime, George Best was our British version, if you like, where if you look at Maradona, where he couldn't go anywhere because he was basically followed by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people wherever he went all the time. And you didn't have what we've got now.
Yeah, but when he closed his door, he was behind his door.
Yeah, but the social
media exists everywhere.
I would love to see Maradona with Instagram. That's what I'm saying.
So would I. Darren, when he was in Napoli, he had the Sicilian mafia looking after him.
Yeah, but the pressure that brings.
Joking, aren't you? Hey, you've got Corleone looking after you, mate. How good would that be? No one's messing with you.
Yeah, but you're at the beck and call of these people.
Oh,
you're
at the beck and call. I think he probably...
Darren, I've got a quote for you. And it's from the number one pundit at 3 Men in a Football. Darren, Simon, you're both wrong. Messi is the best. Quote that.
He's just... We just missed the fact that he called himself a pundit.
I'm still getting over the shock that I'm shocked. It's, and when you look at, I think you look at the modern game now and you're saying Maradona couldn't play in it. He'd have skipped past these. He could have put him and you could have put Thomas in goal. And I'm telling you now, he would have still beat most of these teams on single-handedly.
On his
because he would have, because the pitches are better. You can't go near him. He would have just been like a kid in the school ground. It's like, Simon, you coming to play for my year 6 team.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent.
All right, so how about this? How about the best goal you've seen them score?
Oh, without a doubt, 86 World Cup. That's been voted the best goal ever. Full stop, exclamation mark.
By Maradona fans. So, Thomas, what do you reckon?
The best goal I've seen Messi score was against Atletico Madrid, where he was on the byline.
Yeah.
And he just ran through everyone. Absolutely amazing.
Have you seen...
To be honest, he wasn't getting chased by a fella that was running in wellies.
Poor defending. If that was Maradona, they would have took him out.
Hang on. What about Ronaldo's overhead kick?
He slipped.
Oh, I mean, that is unbelievable. No. The ability to do that is unbelievable. Not only that, he's still scoring goals every other way, but he scores an overhead kicks as well.
Hey, Darren, do you think Simon is like the Ronaldo of this podcast? Quite selfish, isn't he?
It's all about him.
Very, very demanding. We start at 10:30. If you're late, you're getting deducted and all this.
And I think, Thomas, I feel like I'm the Maradona. Underappreciated.
And old.
Brilliant. And
into cocaine and hookers. We know you're not, Darren.
Just for the record.
The type as well.
Just for the record, as a teacher, I'm not.
There couldn't be a worse comparison, could there?
No.
I modelled my game on Maradona.
Let's bring this to a close. So what we need to do now is, based on our crappy arguments, we need to decide what order you would place them.
We've got to see it out. We've got to give it an ending.
Hang on. We're nearly there.
Okay.
We've got to come up with the 1, 2, 3, right? And to lead us into that 1, 2, 3, just a quick summary of why you think your player is the best of all time, Dad.
Maradona is the best of all time because he's done it with unfashionable teams. He's been to 4 World Cups. He's scored amazing goals. The second goal he scored against England is voted by everybody I know in the whole world as the greatest ever goal scored. He played in a time when defenders would just chop him down. He would grace this pitch. He could play against Barcelona now with him, Thomas in goal, me centre off, and you midfield, and he would dominate the game. He is by far the best player I've ever seen in the world. Full stop. Carry on.
Thank you very much, Thomas. What do you think?
I really thought Darren said he'd grace this pitch.
So did I.
He'd do that as well.
All right, Tom, your turn.
Right. Leo Messi is the best player in the world.
Who's Leo?
Stop.
Who's Leo?
He's his mate.
It's like
his mate. Coaches.
Technically perfect. He brings together unselfishness, pace, composure, and goals. This makes him the number 1 player the world has ever seen. Done.
Thomas, sorry, Simon. You were reading that from a script.
I wrote it down. I done work last night.
You've copied those words from somewhere. I'm not having that.
I didn't. I used an actual biro.
All right. Come on. So you've talked about pace. You've talked about ability. You haven't talked about power and an ability to hang in the air like no other. It's almost like Ronaldo is held up by string when he jumps to head the ball. He's unbelievable. He's got more pace than Maradona and Messi. He's scored more goals than Maradona and Messi. He's done it in 3 European countries and totally dominated. He's scored a goal in every minute of the 90 minutes. He's won the Champions League with multiple teams. He's unbelievable. He is by far better than both of them. And his impact on the game currently is far and above Messi and Maradona.
Thomas, can we get side drug tested?
Me and Maradona are going out for a pint. All right. So Daz, give us your order based on the arguments in today's podcast.
Obviously, Maradona top because I was
brilliant. Come on, how have we not convinced you?
I was brilliant. And then my second is Ronaldo. And my second Ronaldo, for the points that you brought up, so I think, is that he's done it in 3 different countries and 3 different leagues. He's done it in the Premier League, which is the toughest league in Europe, in my opinion. He scores different types of goals. I just think Ronaldo is that little bit more than Messi. I think Messi only done it at Barcelona. He had great players around him to set up all those goals. So that's my top 3. Maradona, Ronaldo, Messi.
Thank you. Thomas?
Well, you're a fool, Darren. You're a fool because Messi's the best, Ronaldo's second, and you're the one with the hairy chest. No, it's easy. Messi's the greatest player the world's ever seen. He's been pushed along very closely, and there is an argument for Ronaldo. And it's just down. The stats are pretty much identical, whatever way you look at it. It's just whatever your preference is. If you're looking for an out-and-out goal scorer, you'd then go for Ronaldo. If you're looking for an out and out genius on the pitch, ties the whole team together, you're going to then go with Messi. And then if you want a bit of fun and a boss night out on a Saturday, you go with Maradona. You're done.
Yeah, if you're picking someone for the South, it'd be Maradona, wouldn't it?
Oh, every day of the week. For me.
So I think the argument is a really good one. I also think you could extend this out to people like Johan Cruyff and Zidane and Pele and Fat Ronaldo as well. I'd love to see in there. There's some amazing players.
I've just texted them, so hopefully they'll respond quite quick.
Because you know them well. But for me, I think that Maradona impacted my love for football, and watching him was unbelievable. You'd do anything to watch that game. But I do think that the modern game is very different, and the dominance of Ronaldo and Messi is far and above what Maradona did. So I would go with Ronaldo, Messi and Maradona. But I do think that the arguments is so good for all of them that it doesn't really matter. We have the pleasure of watching people like Messi and Ronaldo every week. Now, we didn't watch Maradona every week. How good would it have been to be around you in that era where you've got people like Pele and Maradona and George Best, Johan Cruyff, some amazing players. But I just think they're pipped at the post by the modern day player.
Basically, you two family have stitched me right up here.
We didn't even talk about it either.
Hey, on a serious note though, can we put a vote on the Facebook page and get people to vote and see who comes out top overall?
Of course we can. I'll even do it on the podcast when we release it on YouTube. There'll be a vote. It'll be somewhere above in the corner. So make your vote, and then we'll let everyone know how it goes. Listen,
everyone that's listening, all 10 of yous, don't feel sorry for Darren, because we know he's a little bit special. Just vote properly with what you think.
Can I just say, if Thomas is getting votes in, to my fans, both of them, you know what to do. Say no more.
All right, Daz, final thoughts on Maradona.
What a genius he is. It's sad that we've lost him this week. And I think, if you get the opportunity, go onto YouTube, look at his warm-ups, look at some of the clips that are on YouTube, because the guy was a genius. And a pleasure to have watched him. In 86, he was just phenomenal. I cried, by the way, when he scored the other goal, but we haven't mentioned that.
Thomas, final thoughts on Maradona?
It's got to be the Oasis going to see him in Argentina. And he threatened to shoot them if they touched any of his bitches. It's just amazing. Tremendous football.
What a legend. So, as I said before, I had a big impact on my love for football. I agree. That's in that game. It was one of them. Gary Lineker said last night, it was the only time when he played football where he wanted to applaud someone playing on the opposition for that goal, because it was just ridiculous. Picking it up in his own half, the way he snaked past a couple of players, the pace that he used. And then that final touch was just unbelievable. I mean, Peter Shilton needed to grow a couple of feet for the other goal, but he made me laugh and cry in the same game. What a player! What an unbelievable person! Lived his life to the fullest. Shame that we've lost him this week, but I'm sure his 60 years are some of the best 60 years anyone can ever have. So thanks for listening to the first ever episode of the Great Football Debate from the Three Men the Football Team. As you can tell, we really enjoyed that. We get really passionate when we talk about football, and we'll do that on every episode. So if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, come back for the next episode. Also, if you like football podcasts in general, then go and have a look at our other offering, the Three Men the Football podcast. On that, we talk about all things Liverpool amateur football, and we get people from around the scene to come on and talk about their careers. We also talk about all things Premier League, and we will do as the season progresses. So if you enjoy it, subscribe, get involved, give us your feedback, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one.